Hey mathematicians, happy Thursday. We have been learning about three different types of patterns. One of those patterns starts with an R. Can you think of what it's called? Repeating. So we have repeating patterns, and a repeating pattern could look something like this. It could be star, check, check, star, check, check. What would come next? Star, check, check, right? It's the same sequence that's repeating over and over again. In this case, it would be star, check, check. Then we have a type of pattern that starts with the letter G, the G sound. Do you remember what it is? Here's a clue. I don't know if that clue is good or not. You'll have to let me know. But it's called a growing pattern. It's a growing pattern. And a growing pattern increases. So if you see a rule and it says a plus sign, we know that's a growing pattern. Okay, an example could be 2, 4, 6, 8. Another example could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40. 100, 200, 300, 400. But a growing pattern increases, it gets bigger. And then we have a pattern that starts with S, and actually it starts with the sh sound. It's called a shrinking pattern. And shrinking patterns, they shrink, they get smaller as they go. And if you see a minus sign, a subtraction sign, you know that is a shrinking pattern, right? So you could see the number 15. And then the number 12. 15 minus 3 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. And you could keep decreasing that way. That would be a shrinking pattern. You could also see, this is kind of a cool example. You could also see like a circle. And you could see maybe there's like 1, 2, 3 lines that cut the circle up. It sort of looks like a pizza. And then the next circle might have so that had 3 lines. This one might have 2. 1, 2. And then this circle might just have 1. And this circle would have none. That's also a shrinking pattern because the number of lines are shrinking, or the number of pieces of pizza are shrinking. Okay? Here there's 1, 2, 3. There's 6 pieces of pizza. This is split into 4, this is split into 2, and this is split into 1. So that's another example of a shrinking pattern. So we also have something called frames, we have something called arrows, and we have something called the rule box. So frames can be any shape, and basically frames just hold numbers in place. So I've used hearts before. You could use a square, you could use a circle. You could use a pentagon. I'm going to just use squares because, I don't know, it's easier for me to make neat squares than to make neat other shapes. So I could have this. I could have my frames, and usually the arrows go this way, right? And I could have my rule box, and maybe my rule is -1. Maybe my rule is -1. So that means that if I have a number here, maybe my number is 9. Or I'm going to say my number is going to be 27. If I have the number 27 here and my rule is -1, I would have to subtract 1 from 27. 27 minus 1 would be 26. I want you to pause the video in a second and figure out what number would go here and what number would go here. So pause and then come back. Welcome back. All right, 26 minus 1, that equals 25. And 25 minus 1 equals 24. Now, today I'm going to show you another way you might see this, okay? So here we have frames and arrows. There is another way to show the rule, and that looks like this. So You can also see an in and out table. I hope you can see that. Hang on. I'm going to use my darker marker. So you can have an in and out table. And you can have your rule box. And we're going to keep the rule the same. We're going to say the rule is -1. Okay? The rule is -1. And what you do is you just pick a number. So I'm going to go with 27. Okay? The number is 27. We have to put the number 27 in to, like, we can put it into a mystery box if we wanted. It's kind of fun to think about. Put 27 into this mystery box. And you have to use the rule. You have to apply the rule to the input. So you would have to do 27 minus 1. And 27 minus 1 is 26. See? And you can put any number into the input. So I'm going to put the number 8. We're going to put number 8 into the input, and the reason is this is a year where many of you will be turning 8. Some of you are 8. Some of you one of you has a birthday tomorrow, and you're turning 8. So if I put 8 into the input, I have to apply the rule. And my rule is what? -1. Put up a 1. -1. So I would have to do 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1 equals 7. Right? 8 minus 1 equals 7. Now, let's see. Why don't we do the number 16? If 16 is the input, we have to apply the rule. We have to take -1 and we have to apply it to 16. So that means 16 minus 1. What is 16 minus 1? 15. Okay? 15. Now, what I want you to do is I want you, if you haven't already, to give yourself a quick stretch break because it's been 7.5 minutes and that's a long time to be sitting listening to your teacher on a video. So I want you to take a pause and then don't forget to come back. So take a pause, stretch a little bit. If you're feeling kind of stiff, rotate your neck. Maybe walk a lap around the room you're in right now. Walk a lap around your kitchen. Maybe get a cracker or something, a little snack, and then come back. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to do another in and out table. So I'm going to put in and I'm going to put out. Sometimes in and out tables, they just look like this. Okay? Sometimes they're like filled in like that. It's the same thing. So you have an in and you have an out. All right? And then we have our rule box. Rule. And this tells us the rule. So it could be addition or it could be subtraction. We're going to do addition. Make a plus sign. We're going to do an addition rule. So we know that the numbers are going to grow. So let's see. Why don't we do let's do +3. My nephew Logan is 3. Let's do +3. Maybe you have a cousin or a brother or sister who's 3. All right, +3. Now, I am going to give you the input. We're going to say the input is 1. The number 1. What would you have to do? We have the number 1. Our rule is +3. What would you have to do? You'd have to do 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3. What is 1 plus 3? Say it. 4. Yes, 4. 1 plus 3 does equal 4. Okay, let's do another one. How about for input, let's put the number 2. If you have somebody at home to talk to, or if you have a stuffed animal nearby, I want you to pause this video and I want you to tell another person or tell your stuffed animal. You could even tell a pen if you have a pen. I want you to tell them, what do you need to do to this number 2? What do you need to do? And then do it. Tell me what goes here. All right, pause the video and then come back. All right, I hope you did that because it's helpful if you pause the video and participate, okay? So if you said 2, you'd have to do plus 3. Pat yourself on the back. Yes, you would have to do 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3. If you added 2 plus 3 and you got 5, I want you to do this. I want you to give yourself a few little fists in the air, all right? Because 2 plus 3 is 5. If you got a different number and you added incorrectly, that's okay. We all make mistakes. But what I want you to do is pause the video and double check your addition. Try 2 plus 3 again and see if you get 5, okay? All right, now we are going to put another number in here. Let's put in the number 10. We're going to put in the number 10 to the input. So we have 10. What do we need to do to the number 10? What do we need to do? Think about the rule. We would have to do 10 plus, make a plus sign, 10 plus 3. 10 plus 3. Solve 10 plus 3. Pause the video if you have to. That's totally fine. Pause the video, do 10 plus 3, and then come back for the answer. Alrighty, I hope you paused the video. 10 plus 3 equals 13. It equals 13. Okay, I hope you're ready for a little bit of a challenge. Now, I am going to give you the output. I'm going to give you the output, and we're going to talk about how you would find the input. So I'm going to tell you the output is 6. The output is 6. Now we know our rule is plus 3, right? And we were doing plus 3. We were applying our rule to our input. But when we're given the output, guess what? We have to do the opposite. It's just like when we were doing our frames and arrows. Remember when we did this? And we let's say the rule is plus 3 and we have 3, and then we had a circle, and then we had 6, and we had a circle. Remember this? And we were going this way. Remember? And we know that when we're going this way, we have to add 3, so this would be 12. But when we're going backwards, we had to do the opposite of adding. And what is the opposite of adding? The opposite of adding is subtracting, right? So we would have to do, instead of plus 3, when we're going backwards, we have to do minus 3. And 3 minus 3 would be 0. If you're a little confused right now, it's okay. I'm just giving you a preview to this. Just giving you a hint for what's coming up next. But it's the same thing. So you have to do the opposite, okay? So instead of adding 3, we wouldn't do 6 plus 3. No, we wouldn't do that. No, we would actually do 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3. What is 6 minus 3? Would be 3. Now let's check to make sure it makes sense. Is 3 plus 3 6? It sure is. It sure is. Okay, second graders, you are going to do some practice problems, and you are going to practice when you're given the input, you're going to practice using the rule to figure out the output too, okay? That's going to be your job today, and I hope you have a great day.